very thankful that I met John that day. He's changed my life a lot, and now I look back and know that if I hadn't met him, I'd still be walking on the sidewalk.
My name is John, and I do parkour. I grew up in Merrill, Wisconsin, which, if you know anything about Merrill, you know that there's not really anything to do there. And as a kid, I would kind of just find myself just wandering the streets by myself, and like while I was doing that, I would just see all these deadbeats on the street just kind of wasting away. And I just knew from a young age that I needed to get out of Merrill, or else I would just become like one of them. And it wasn't until around my 19th birthday when I kind of figured out an answer. I was just sitting in the woods meditating, and I kind of just started looking at the squirrel, and I just sat there watching it, and just the way that it ran from tree to tree effortlessly. That's what I want to be. Like, I want to be free, like that squirrel. And that's kind of when I realized my true calling, parkour. Parkour is really just getting from point A to point B as quickly as possible, and also doing like cool moves off of playground equipment and buildings and stuff. But it's also something a lot more than that. Parkour, to me, is kind of like a test of freedom. And if you parkour, you're saying that you're not constrained by the boundaries of society and social norms and stuff. And you're just kind of symbolizing like finding your own path for yourself. I started really getting into it. Like, sometimes I would just sit at home and watch Ninja Warrior for like 6 hours a day, and then other times I would just go out to the woods and run around with the squirrels for hours. You know, it just kind of felt like I was made to run. I'm always parkouring around school, like a lot, whether it's just practicing or trying to get to class on time. And sometimes it can be a little embarrassing, like if you wipe out in front of everyone, that's super embarrassing. But like other times, people see you and see what you're doing, and it can lead to some really interesting friendships.
My name's Chris Navarro, and I first met John when I was walking to class. I was walking to class on the sidewalk like any other normal person would, and I glanced over and saw this guy doing these crazy moves on a park bench. And I stopped and watched, and this guy, he was so fluid and beautiful with his movements. I'd never seen anything so captivating in my life. And I stood on the sidewalk and watched. People walked by, ignoring him completely, but I stood fixated, watching his every action and every fluid motion. It was something beautiful, something I'd never seen before. And it touched me, it touched my very soul. And I thought at that point, I want to live like John. I want to be just like John. And I decided that I wanted to be John's apprentice. So I confronted him and asked him. And that's the day I became John's apprentice.
I've never really thought that my parkour would have such a profound effect on anyone, but I think Chris is great, and you know, he really looks up to me as a parkourist, and we kind of just feed off of each other's energy, and I'm just proud that he looks up to me and that I can call him my apprentice in parkour. I'm really excited for the future. I have some pretty big plans for Chris and I. Our big dream is to get on an episode of Ninja Warrior. So yeah, I mean, that's the dream. My name is John Schoenemann. I do parkour, and I am free.
Yeah!